Welcome, everybody. Michael LaFido. Welcome to another Luxury Specialist, Luxury Fridays. I'm your host. You're in the right place. If you're an agent, you're a team leader, you're a broker owner, you're a consumer, and you just want to be plugged in and learn more about real estate, you're in the right place. As always, if you have any questions, you can type them in wherever you're watching this from, or shoot me an email if you're watching a replay. Again, you can shoot me an email at michael@marketingluxurygroup.com, michael@marketingluxurygroup.com, or you can type in your questions in the comments section. Type in your questions in the comments section, and we look forward to talking today about something different. We're going to be talking about optional luxury auctions, optional auctions for single-family homes. Perhaps you've seen different auctions for cars, Mecum auctions, right? We used to have a place up in the Lake Geneva area, and Mecum Auctions has got a big old former warehouse that converted to their auctions where they have exotic cars, unique cars, and it's a smaller pool of buyers that are looking for these kind of cars. More difficult than selling via Auto Trader or their local car dealership, so they have auctions to sell off these cars. Same thing with women's handbags, men's watches, of course, artwork. So auctions, and in some parts of the world, auctions are the preferred method of selling single-family homes. Now, when you hear auctions here in the United States, you think bank auctions, short sales, foreclosures. We're going to be talking about optional auctions for high-end and unique properties. From time to time, you'll see perhaps some of our marketing, even on our book, Luxury Specialist. This home that's on the cover, this house is being auctioned off in the Chicagoland market on July 15th. And we're going to talk about that process as well as auctions in general. Again, we're going to be doing an in-person auction. We got some amazing print collateral as well as some digital collateral, which we'll be sharing with you on today's show. Again, we're going to be talking about optional auctions. So if you're an agent and you have a seller that wants certainty, a for sure sale, we're going to talk about the pros and the cons of buying an auction property as well as selling a property via auction. We're going to be talking about that. And I have a special guest today, which I'll be bringing in here in a few minutes. As always, if you have questions, like I said, if you're watching live, you can type in the comment section. And if you are watching remote, then you can type in your questions. So I have some great, some local folks on here. Colin down here in Florida. Colin's watching on LinkedIn, and we have our good friend Randy is watching from the sky. Randy, we will share a link as well for anybody that wants to ask a question. If you want to ask a question live, you don't need to download anything. You can literally type in or copy and paste the link I just put in the comment sections, and I can bring you on camera. You don't need to download anything. And that is our link here. So StreamYard.com, it's got a goofy, but you'll find it in the actual comment section. You don't need to download anything. So today, talking about auctions, in the Chicagoland market, every market's different. So let me first off and just review. We talk about luxury all the time. I talk about how you define luxury. When next week I'm going to be in New Orleans speaking at RE/MAX's 11th annual luxury forum. And so we're really excited about that. It's going to be great. So if you're a RE/MAX agent and you're going to be at the New Orleans RE/MAX luxury forum, let me know, and it'd be great to see you. That's Tuesday through Thursday, and I'm teaching my class on Thursday. So I want to share with you just a reminder that there's 5 different price points. There's 5 different price points in real estate, and I'm going to have this on the screen right now. And this is, for those of you that are watching, luxury is all relative, right? So luxury is different in New Orleans, it's different in Chicago, it's different in Naples, and there's 5 primary price points in most markets. And For our course, for our Lux designation, which we founded 7 years ago, we're teaching it next week at Remax. We define luxury as 3 times the average sale price. So on the screen, you'll see bucket number 4. Bucket number 4 is how we define a luxury home. And so luxury home auctions, these difficult homes in many price points, it's bucket 5, which I call ultra luxury, which is 10 times the average sale price for that given market. Those homes can be a little bit more difficult selling, particularly in markets where people are getting out of Dodge. So Illinois, we're losing a lot of wealth to Florida, to Tennessee, Texas, the Carolinas. And so this particular house we'll be talking about today, the Lion's Den, it was Architectural Digest most beautiful home for sale in Illinois. It was voted that. It was the backdrop for the TV show Empire. It's going to auction on July 15th, and we're going to be talking about auctions, auctions, auctions. Okay. So that is what we're going to be covering today. So we're going to talk about luxury auctions, and I have a special guest in studio today, in studio. So I'm going to adjust my camera while he scoots over a little bit, and we're going to be bringing on somebody on camera here. And so I got Nick with Elite Auctions, and I'm sorry, I got Nick a smaller chair here, so he's not that short in person. So Nick, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Nick, he's in town because this property, which I'll bring on the screen, Nick is going to be the in-person. This is our show, as you guys know. This is our show today. For those of you that saw the preview, this is the preview for today. We are going to be talking about this particular property that's being offered at auction, and that is what we're covering today. And so I have Nick, who's with Elite Auctions. There's various auction companies out there. I've successfully sold a home in Crystal Lake, Illinois via auction. That one was with Concierge Auctions, and this is Elite Auctions. The seller chose them to represent on the auction. So this is the property. It's actually currently listed for sale at $9.5 million. And we're going to come back to your auction site, but I just want to share everybody, this is the Lion's Den. This is Architectural Digest most beautiful home for sale in Illinois. Literally, you can count on one hand, year in and year out, how many $9 million single family homes sell in Chicagoland. Most of them are either in the Gold Coast in downtown Chicago, or they're North Shore and they're on Lake Michigan. Okay, Lake Michigan, the dirt up there. I sold a house, or I was marketing a home in Highland Park where Michael Jordan's been trying to sell his house for over a decade. That dirt is worth $3 to $5 million just for a vacant lot on Lake Michigan. So those are typically the houses that you see that sell around $9.5 million. So we're going to be talking about auctions, what they are, what they aren't. And so these are optional luxury auctions. So the first thing that we're going to talk about, and I'm going to bring Nick in to talk about this, but this particular property, we are selling with no reserve. Now, some companies, or maybe you've heard an absolute auction, Elite uses the term no reserve. So we're selling this property as a no reserve auction on July 15th. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So you are coming in today. You and I are going to tour the property today. We actually have 2 showings today. So we typically are allowing previews to pre-screen buyers Saturdays and Sundays from 1 to 4 p.m. Now, if there's an exception to the rule, maybe somebody's flying in, they're only in town for the week, we, of course, will make that work. And that's what we're doing today. We're showing it in a few hours to 2 different buyers, and we have some showings tomorrow as well. Tomorrow is the first day that we were officially allowing previews, but we got a couple people that wanted to beat others in there. And then moving forward, the following weekends, Saturdays and Sundays from 1 to 4, you can schedule a time to meet Nick there, and he will tour you through the property. Now, I'm going to share with you, and you can check in the comment sections. I've already typed some things in there. You'll see the direct link for the property on Elite Auctions website, or you go to eliteauctions.com and scroll down. You'll see yachts. You'll see other properties. This mansion is in Barrington Hills, Illinois, which is around 40 minutes outside of Chicago, and it's close to O'Hare. So you're close enough to everything, but yet far enough away. And this is on over 8 acres. So this particular property is what we call a no reserve auction. The benefits of a no reserve auction is you're going to get a lot more interest. You're also going to get a lot more lowball $1 million, $2 million, $3 million people looking to buy a $9 million home at a third of the cost. But the goal of going no reserve or absolute no reserve is you might get the attention of somebody that is well qualified, and they might be going in there thinking 1 to 3 to 5 or whatever. And just like a silent auction, or you go to a charity event and you get some egos in the room because you guys are doing an in-person auction on July 15th, you might have somebody that, holy cow, what did I just do? I paid full price for a home. That's what we're hoping for, because it is an absolute amazing home. And so that's the benefit of the no reserve, is you get a lot more people. Now you also get the downside is you get you get qualified people at 3 million or 5 million or 7 million, but they're looking to steal a property. And so that's the reserve part of it. Excuse me, that's the no reserve. Then the opposite of reserve is what we call no reserve. No reserve, a no reserve auction, excuse me, a reserve auction is when you publish it. So we could say opening bid starting at 4.75, which is half of the asking price. I know a lot of companies out there, that's what they typically try to do. They try to get the reserve at the high part, 50% of the asking price or less. So the downside of published reserves is you might have somebody that would pay ultimately 7 or 8 million once they toured the home, but they see that published reserved at 4.75 and they're like, nah, I don't really want to pay that. And so they don't even tour the home. And so when you tour the home, people buy on emotion and they justify on logic. When I say they justify on logic, they go to a nonprofit event. I was just at a golf outing, Rich Harvest Farms in Chicagoland, thanks to my friends at Naperville Cadillac. And there's a lot of celebrities there. They auction off things. You walk out of here with some wine or whatever it might be, and you overbid because it's a good cause, or maybe they had, the drinks were flowing, and there's some egos in the room, right? One of my mentors, Dan Kennedy, says, people, when they have a Lamborghini, a Bugatti, I just stopped by Chicago Motor Cars, good friends of ours today, and dropped off flyers for this mansion, 45 Lakeview. Look at that view, by the way. It's on two lakes, okay, Heather Lake and Keene Lake, and it's surrounded three sides by water. It's like a peninsula. It's tucked away. It's absolutely stunning. I actually went to the season premiere filming when Demi Moore was on TV show Empire. I met Demi Moore, and I was doing a live stream video, Nick, back by the pool. It's an absolute stunning. I was doing a live stream there, and I messed up a scene. They were indoors or somewhere, and they came back out, and they were nice about it, but they had to reshoot a scene because they could hear me talking. I guess they got this place mic'd up like a, Watergate or something. So anyways, that was interesting. And it's a really cool property. It was great to be there during the filming of it. They had like a little blimp that they would float up in the air that had downward lighting for their night scenes. They did a scene where they brought in a boat on Route 59. They dropped it in a Woody, like you see something in Venice. They dropped it in off of Route 59 and they idled it over to the boat dock, which is pretty cool. So this property, we're doing no reserve. The benefits of no reserve for your sellers are you're going to get a larger buyer pool. Okay. The benefit for the buyers is you might not have been interested if, in this case, the reserve was 4.75. Okay. The benefits of the reserve is those people looking to get it for $1 million or $2 million, they're not going to, with the published reserve of 4.75, they won't even sign up. So there's pros and cons. Many of these companies try to push no reserve because you get a larger buyer pool. All right. Again, as always, if you guys have any questions, let us know. So auction, this is an auction without a reserve. Thank you, Randy. This is what we call an auction without a reserve. Okay. That is exactly what we're doing. Yes, this is the Empire Home. Colin, you attended a training. I did a designation training, my Lux designation training. NAREB, National Association of Real Estate Brokers, hosted an event, in November, it's actually October of 2019, and Colin flew in for that. So Colin, thanks. You've been at this mansion, if you recall. So, all right, so that is reserve versus no reserve. So that's a question I wanted to cover today. The other thing I want to cover is in-person auction versus remote. So I was just at a golf outing, and you're at a golf outing, you're at an event, a charity event. They have the various auction items, silent items, whatever, and you got those bids, and you're on the phone. That's one thing. But so that's what we call remote. And then the opposite of remote is in person. I actually auctioneered at an event once. My high school football team, I helped raise money for a scoreboard, and I was the auctioneer. And we were starting opening bids on football helmets and stuff. And hey, we got $100 here. I got 125. I got 125. I got 150 here. 150, 170, and I was an auctioneer. So Randy, you didn't know that about me, but I might be doing the auctioneering at July 15th. Okay.
You're backup for the
I'm
day.
your backup in case he loses his voice. All right. So we are doing an in-person. We're doing an in-person auction at this amazing property in person. So this is an auction without reserve. The property that you see here, we're going to be doing it on July 15th. Again, July 15th. If you guys want to see these pictures, you literally go to eliteauctions.com and you can find this, but eliteauctions.com. We're doing this. You can register to bid here. Okay. You can download the terms and conditions, and you see all the information. And what I like about it, there's a countdown clock. So 28 days away, we're doing this auction. Okay. And so we're doing this auction in 28 days. I got Nick here, Nicholas Schmidt. That's the good looking guy in the red tie on the screen. And you can see the preview schedule. Okay. The preview schedule starts tomorrow, the 17th, between 1 and 4. We're closed for Father's Day. And then next weekend and the following 3 weekends afterwards. Okay. And if you're a broker, if you're an agent, we do pay a commission if you bring us the buyer. Okay. So to download the terms and conditions, this is my video for this property. So you can watch the video. We did an amazing video. Check this out. We wanted that opening scene to be like Miami Vice flying over the water. So this property is really, really special. It's been the backdrop for a lot of not just TV shows, but it's the backdrop for a lot of things I've done with our marketing as well. So we're doing an in-person auction on July 15th. All right. So let's get back to the in-person. So far we've talked about, Nick, we've talked about reserve versus no reserve. This is a no reserve auction. We've also talked about in-person versus remote. This is an in-person auction. You're going to have high net worth, pre-qualified high net worth individuals. They have to put down a deposit. Let's talk about terms. Let's talk about terms. So talk to me about terms of an auction. When in your company, what are some of the basic terms? Are these buyers doing an inspection after they put it under contract?
No.
So no, they are buying it as is, where is, and typically closing within 30 days, right? Cash, there's some exceptions to the rule if a seller, but primarily cash.
Yes.
You just successfully sold a property in Atlanta, Georgia. House had been on for how long?
About 3 years.
Been on for 3 years, and they were sick and tired of being sick and tired, and they wanted certainty. The market, they could have probably made up the difference in the market over the last 3 years.
Yeah.
They were chasing the market, maybe the real estate market, but they could have made money with crypto or whatever else, bought something else. But this property was tying them down. Isn't that correct?
Correct.
So they sold, they were excited. And so this particular property that we're auctioning off has been on the market on and off for, I want to say, almost 9 years. It's been 6 years with me. And so we were under contract twice over the last few years. And so they want it sold. They want certainty. They want top dollar. They don't want to give it away, but they want certainty. And so we're doing this in-person auction on July 15th. So talk to me about some of the basic terms that you typically see when you're selling with Elite Auctions?
Sure. In order to register for the auction, we require a $100,000 deposit, whether that be a cashier's check or a wire deposit. Fairly simple, and then register with our terms and conditions. If you have an agent, as Michael noted, anywhere in the country, an agent can represent a buyer in our auctions. They just need to fill out a simple form as well, and that's essentially how you get registered. To win the property, you will pay a 10% buyer's premium on top of whatever the final gavel price is. So if it's 8 million final gavel, your final price will be $8.8 million. And then the buyer pays all of the closing costs as well. So we do shift all of those costs to the buyer, usually because the auction comes at a bit of a discount. So that enables the seller to recoup some of those funds at the end as well.
Perfect. So to be there on July 15th, you've had to download the terms and conditions, you've had to fill them out, and you'd had to either wire or cashier's check 100K to be in the room on July 15th. Believe me, you're going to want to be in the room on July 15th. I know a lot of different people that own properties across the world. Some people collect cars, others collect properties. They really do. And so this is one of those special properties that I think you'd want to have in your portfolio. This home in Napa, this home in Naples would be $10 million, at least more. So you're getting it at a discount because it's Chicagoland, but is absolutely spectacular. Lightly lived in. My client has properties in different parts of the world as well, so he's not there 365 days of the year. No kids have lived in the home. He was older when he built this home. His kids had all been moved out. No dogs have lived in the home. They actually have a detached, about 1,000 square foot, they called it their dog depot, but would be great guest house, would be another garage. There's a 4-car attached and another 2-car attached. You can do lifts if you want to do more. This house actually had tennis courts when he bought it. He knocked down the house, built his home here, had tennis courts. You could do sport court, pickleball, whatever you want. Plenty of land to build on. So getting back to the terms, 100K just to put your name in and to be able to bid. Okay. Obviously, you're not the winning bidder. You get that money back.
Correct.
How long before you get the money back?
If you have a cashier's check, you walk away with it. If you choose to wire in the money, that'll be refunded that following Monday.
Perfect. So Saturday, July 15th, you'd get the money wired back on the 17th, 18th, the latest. So there you go.
And as Michael noted, it's a 30-day cash as is, where is closing. No contingencies. So for the sellers, it's really beneficial to have that time certain sale as well.
Yeah, they have certainty. You know, they're doing the auction on July 15th, August 15th. And by the way, this particular house, for the most part, is being offered turnkey. Most furnishings and artwork, except some heirlooms and that kind of stuff, are included, which is really nice in today's market. I just represented a $4.75 million buyer yesterday for a home in Oak Brook, Illinois, second highest sale ever in Oak Brook. And a lot of the furnishing was not included. So guess what? My buyer's got to go out and find stuff. And so this house is really timeless. I'll show you some pictures here in a moment, but it's really timeless. And so that's one of the benefits of this particular house, as well as turnkey, and most of the furnishings are included. So let's talk about the 10% buyer's fee. 10% buyer's fee. So let's keep it really simple. It's listed at 9.5 million. Let's just say it sells at 9 million. Keep it simple. At 9 million, that buyer is also paying 10% of 9 million, or 900 grand in fees. And those fees go to cover your company, the marketing of your company. They also pay the buyer's agent out of that fee. And so those are the fee and closing costs. Those are the fees, but the buyer knows this. It's all upfront, no different than when you go to Mecum auctions. You know what you want to buy that 69 Chevelle, for 70,000. If they're charging 10% buyer's fee, you're going to pay 77 going into it. So you factor that into your bidding, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, that's part of it. So that is something I wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of as well. So those are some of the fees that you factor into the actual the actual bidding process. So I want to share with you on my screen on our website. On our website, you can also see all the pictures and the videos. Okay, on our actual website, which is luxchicagolandhomes.com. I'll type that in, but Lux Chicagoland Homes. If you go to Lux Chicagoland Homes, you can find our properties, including this home. But luxchicagolandhomes.com. I just typed that in the comment section. If you go to luxchicagolandhomes.com, you will find this property. We represent some unique properties. My consulting company will help agents secure big properties. You see this one in Fort Lauderdale, 22.9. That's on our website. We helped another agent, a new agent, never sold anything, secure a $4 million property in Nashville. I have other properties in West Virginia, which I think would be a great property for the auction. You see that here. It's listed at 3.7. So these are properties that we represent throughout Chicagoland, as well as, so here you see this property. I'm going to pull this up. This is the property that we are auctioning off on July 15th. If you scroll, 45 Lakeview is the address, listed at $9.5 million. Go to Lux Chicagoland Homes, and you can view all the pictures of this property. Look at these views. Nick's going there for the first time today. Nick,
Very excited.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your excitability right now? An 11, a 12?
Yeah, I was going to say probably 11 or 12.
Yeah,
that's accurate.
Look at this. I mean, this is a money shot. When I teach agents on how to market homes, and by the way, real estate agents are terrible at marketing. I hate to say it, most are. When they go to real estate school, I have an intern this summer. It's actually my nephew. He's doing real estate school right now. He's going to get his license and work with us. And they don't teach you about this. They teach you that there's 43,560 square feet in an acre, but they don't teach you how to market a home.
For sure.
Most agents' photos are terrible. I mean, literally, you can Google terrible real estate photos that suck.com, and 90% of agents' photos are on their BlackBerry from 10 years ago. So I obsess with the details. I'm a recovering perfectionist, Nick, but I'm a micromanager with my photography and my videography, and it shows, okay? We are in a dating app industry. We're in a dating industry. People are swiping left or they're swiping right on properties when they're in their underwear at night, on their iPad, looking at homes. Again, many people aren't even in the business. They're not even looking to buy or sell, but they like looking at homes. And so we get a lot more swipe rights on our property, Nick, than the competitors. Look at this. This is the money shot that we have with you guys. This home, this is on the cover of my home, on my book, Luxury Specials. That's the shot right there that we use because it's special. So you guys can literally look at these pictures. You go to my website, luxchicagolandhomes.com. It's a special property, and we're really looking forward to it. So I'm going to stop screen sharing right now. We're going to come back up here. We talked about there's a fee to the buyers. Your company's is 10%, which is common. Like I said, there's another auction company I've used, Concierge. They are 10 or 12. I think they're
10 to 12 is pretty standard.
Yeah, that's pretty standard. Again, there's a $100,000 deposit.
And to note that $100,000 deposit will go towards that 10%.
The great point. So it's not above and beyond. So that 100,000 deposit goes towards the 10%. So Randy, I know you're watching from the sky, but do you have anything to add? Feel free to jump in, or anybody else. I included a link if you want to jump on our live stream. Okay. Randy is the founder, CEO of Elite Auctions. So this is the Barrington Mansion that's featured in Fox's series Empire. We're going to auction on it July 15th. It's an optional auction. Any questions, any comments, type them in if you're watching live. If you're watching a replay, I put in the link. For this property. You can go to eliteauctions.com, look for the Barrington Hills Mansion, or look for this link, copy and paste it if you're watching live. Again, I'm your host, Michael LaFido. If you're getting value from this show, please leave us a like, leave us a review. And we're talking luxury auctions, all things auctions. If you are in a market where the top 1% of homes have a difficult time selling, you might consider an auction. If your seller is motivated by certainty and time, the auction's a great alternative. If they want multiple offers above asking price, this might be a good alternative as well. There are auction companies out there. Uh, I'm not going to name names, but there's an old, if you want to buy through a certain auction company because you'll get it at a steal. But when you want to go sell, use other auction companies. And so we are very positive. We're very confident we're going to get multiple bidders in the room on July 15th. You're going to want to be in the room. If you're remotely interested, you're going to want to be in the room. Again, the terms are as is. You can do a pre-inspection though, right? If they want to, it's not really, it's
for their own due diligence.
If they want to do your own due diligence and invest in the pre-inspection, that might be an option. Again, we've had 2 home inspections on this home because we've been under contract twice. Nothing wrong, with the home. On the inspections, there were some minor things. We took care of those issues. One deal fell because Chase, it was a $5 million loan. It was the most that Chase would do. The rest was cash. They kept asking for more documents. Closing got delayed. Seller was frustrated. There were some contents that was a dispute on what kind of furniture is included in that whole list. And so now the seller's saying we're going to include most of them. Nick, do you got anything else to add?
There's a few things I'd like to touch on that we spoke about in the beginning here. The difference in the no reserve to the reserve, and then also the difference of having the auction live and on site versus having people bid remote.
Yep.
There is a bit of a psychology that's involved with something like this. And when you have these high net worth individuals that are participating and they're not really used to losing in their lives, they've gotten to where they are because they are winners. And when you have them all in the same room at one time, they're competitive. They don't want to lose, and that's the benefit of having something on site as well. We do offer folks to be able to bid over the phone. They do have to have a representative there at the auction, but some of that psychology definitely comes into play. And then having that benefit of the no reserve as well, just gets some gears turning in some of these people's minds, and that really tends to bring the price up as well.
That's great. Now, we're having this on July 15th at 11 a.m. Central, noon Eastern. Ballpark it here. We start the auction. What does the day of the auction look like? So they probably previewed the home before. Maybe some don't. Last second, they get their name in the ring. They're there. When are we opening doors?
We open doors at 9 a.m. I will be there at 9 a.m. sharp. I usually provide an array of food and some champagne to get some of the juices flowing.
Maybe nice. Got some champagne. We'll get some Lamborghini wine maybe there. We'll talk to a lead about that.
Yeah, so register anytime between 9 and 11. Typically, people tend to show up closer to 11 o'clock. It's not necessarily a strict 11 a.m. start time. Usually around 11:15, around that time, just to give, if there's a straggler or two, to give them a little extra time in the morning. But you come with your cash, with your check in hand and the terms, and we give you a paddle. And
good, awesome. And
time.
So you start the auction 15-20 minutes later, so call 11:15, 11:30ish.
Sure.
Because you give them time to tour the home ahead of time.
Yeah, get a glass of champagne.
Maybe they saw it once a month before. It's been a while, whatever. Maybe their representative hasn't seen it, but the buyer saw it through a preview.
Right.
And then do you have a gavel? I mean, are you saying sold? Or
we have an auctioneer, and he depending on the location, can bring a gavel. He doesn't have to.
Tell him to bring a gavel. I'm putting you on the spot. I want to see a gavel there. Okay. No, I'm kidding. So we're going to have a gavel there, folks. We're going to have a gavel on the 15th. So when that gavel strikes, is that about noon? Is that 11:30? It all depends.
Generally speaking, it's very, it's one item. It's obviously a large item, but it is one item, so it's not typically too long of a process. Once it does begin, depending on the volume of bidders, depending on some of those other factors, it could be anywhere from 10 to 25, 30 minutes.
Okay.
But not terribly long.
So we're going to say before noon Central, that house will be sold.
That's correct.
That's awesome. We're excited about it, guys. July 15th. Private message me, send me a note. I'm looking to see, do we have any other comments here? No other comments. Again, my name is Michael Lafito. We are talking today about auctions. So Nick, I appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So we're talking about auctions today, and so we are going into the auction period here. We're doing the auctions. If you want to scoot back over there, Nick, that'd be great. So we're doing these auctions. So guys, if you guys have questions about the auction, you have questions about anything in general, let us know. If you're getting value, please leave us a like, leave us a review. Talking about auctions. To recap, by the way, when you go on listing appointments as agents, you want to recap the major points. Okay. It's a former teacher in me. Okay. You got to recap. So we're talking luxury auctions. There's two types of auctions. There's reserve and no reserve. This event we're having on July 15th is a no reserve auction. I mentioned that to you. That's a no reserve auction. And this particular property is special. We are doing a no reserve auction on July 15th. You'll see the picture of the actual house coming back on the screen. July 15th, we're doing the no reserve auction, July 15th. It's going to be in person, but if the buyer can't be there, they can send a representative there. But you have to actually put down, we're going to talk about terms now. You got to actually put down for this particular auction $100,000 just to be able. This is the Barrington Hills mansion that's featured on Fox's TV show Empire. You got to put $100,000 down. There's a 10% buyer's fee, okay? And you close within 30 days. 30 days. You can see more pictures of this home by going to my website, luxchicagolandhomes.com, or you can go to Elite Auctions. You go to Elite Auctions, then you will actually register to bid, and you can download the terms and conditions. Again, I'm your host, Michael LaFido. If you guys have questions, you're watching this on a replay, you can shoot me an email, michael@marketingluxurygroup.com, michael@marketingluxurygroup. Look for no more comments. I'd be happy to answer any questions to you. You guys have been an amazing audience. Again, keep raising the bar in the real estate industry. I am so excited about our upcoming book, Secrets of Top Luxury Agents. Secrets of Top Luxury Agents. We are coming out with that in end of August, early September. Secrets of Top Luxury Agents. We do have a couple spots available. If you want to apply to be an author, you can go to secrets@topluxuryagents.com. I'm your host, Michael LaFido. Keep raising the bar. You've seen behind me this Lamborghini wine. We just had a record sale. I'm going to be bringing that to my client. You'll see a red, a white, and a blue. It's actually a red, gold, and blue Lamborghini wine. We're going to be delivering that this afternoon to our happy client. I'm your host, Michael LaFido. Keep raising the bar. You see behind me, speed, cost, and prove them wrong. Until next time, you're watching or listening to another episode of Luxury Specialist. Have a great day and build others up. By the way, garbage in, garbage stays. Tune off the news. They want to divide you and me. Make it a great day. Take care, everybody.